Yep, okay. So good evening, folks. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. We had some pre-meetings. So at this point, I will ask for a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So done. We have tonight with us our department head, the health agent, David Flaherty. Dave, would you please?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board,
evening.
Flaherty, health agent. Just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on in the with the health department in regards to health in the town. The office is running pretty smooth. We've got all our permits out now. Lou was out last week, but he's back. He's feeling better. He's all caught up with his inspections. I'd like to thank you folks for updating the tobacco regulations. That's a good thing. We're going to be right in line with all the other towns around us, so that's good. At this point, we're getting ready for the 2015 mosquito season. Doesn't seem like it with all the snow out still, but it'll be coming pretty quickly. So we're just waiting to hear from the Bristol County mosquito control people. Just a few housing issues going on, nothing major. Working with Bob Iafredi, the building commissioner, with some of them. We're gaining ground on that. Doing a lot of emergency preparedness planning. We're looking at all the activation of the shelters that occurred during the storm Juno in January into February, and we're looking at it, tweaking our plans. Right now, we're still part of the Bristol County Emergency Planning Coalition. That way, we get public health money from the feds and the state. But we're also part of the Sachem Rock Regional Emergency Planning Council, which includes the Bridgewaters and a few other towns, Halifax, Rockland. Unfortunately, they're all in a different county, but that doesn't matter when it comes to emergency planning. We can still, that's mostly sharing with resources and sheltering. It's a little different. It's actually the nuts and bolts, and it makes sense because Bridgewater Raynham High School is our major regional shelter, so that's why we're aligned with them. It's working out pretty well, even though we just started. I've been attending a lot of seminars for housing inspections, Title V, Mass Department of Public Health budget, and how it affects local public health. And then in the next couple of weeks, I'll be taking a lead inspector's certification class. So always something going on. Working with a few different people. I know Walmart did a big, not a big, but they did a small renovation. There's a new restaurant coming in town. They want to be open by May, where the old Thai restaurant was on Broadway. Working with those folks. Wendy's just did a big remodeling job. It's been a few weeks since I've seen you folks, but I've been working with all the department heads too, whenever appropriate. So been to Pro Home to do a seminar for them. I'll be going back in October too. So
good. Board?
I really don't have anything.
I do. Just one question, Dave.
Sure.
The legislature passed and the governor signed a bill to allow for larvicidal treating at the local and county level.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we? And my guess is Bristol Mosquito Control is probably going to be the lead agency on it. But where are we on that? And if it needs a motion from this board, I would do so tonight. They had taken away, the state had taken away control from us for a number of years to be able to treat for mosquitoes and catch basins. And a bill, fortunately, was passed and surprisingly signed by Governor Patrick before he left, restoring that authority. And I want to make sure that something we asked for that actually happened is something we're now utilizing and not saying, well, we've done nothing with it.
As I recall, there was a lot of discussion about that last fall. Excuse me. And the Bristol County Mosquito Control Project feels that the town is within its right for the DPW to treat any catch basins that they deem in need of treatment. They don't have any problems with that as long as if it's excuse me, anything that requires a pesticide application license. I think they'd have to have, which I think if not Ed, then somebody over there does, so,
If you don't mind, Dave, just on behalf of the board, if you could coordinate that effort again.
absolutely.
The moment it's appropriate to do so, I want to make sure we're out there doing it. Because again, I emphasize it's something we've asked for that they actually gave us for
Yeah.
once, so.
I mean, right now, they're doing the aerial larvicide spraying in the spring, early spring, but they're missing the catch basins,
Yeah.
which is a whole different part of town, and with this legislation, it'll help greatly, I think, to reduce the amount of mosquitoes in town.
Yeah, so I think it would
That's
be
good.
good if Dave works on our behalf to make sure we
Yeah.
have everything in place.
Absolutely.
Board has agreed to that. David, anything else? Anything? No?
All set.
Well, I just want to say, I suspect that perhaps Governor signed that based on some of the criticism that you gave last year. That
We
may
gave
have-
them enough.
That may
That
have
was,
tilted.
that was his going away gift
Yeah.
to me, I guess.
Yeah, I think Deval might have caught the message. Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you
Thanks.
for your
Yep.
time, folks.
Next piece of business, we have appointments. I have a letter here from Serpide asking for our appointment for the Serpide Commission, and the representative that is before the board is Carol Sullivan. She's been in that position
Yes, she
before.
has.
If I may have a motion to put her back in there for the following year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. They've also asked for our appointment for the Joint Transportation Planning Group, which is the JTPG, a delegate, and I'm going to nominate Ed Buckley. Do I have a motion to that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the alternate, John Charbonneau.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So done. No public hearing. Any new business?
None.
Okay. Completion of old business.
None.
Okay, town administrator's report, please, Randy.
FY16 budget, I guess, is first. The Finance Committee's in the process of finalizing the budget. My estimate of revenues and expenditures show a surplus of about $100,000 in the budget, which is not a lot considering we have a $35 million operating budget, but it's better than a deficit. Also, articles were due today, and draft warrant will be ready for the board's next meeting. Town council, Ted Peake, and I will be reviewing the articles later in this week. The warrant needs to be finalized by the board's April 14th meeting. And the town meeting, of course, is Monday, May 18th this year. And for the special before the annual articles, we do April 17th. Annual rabies clinic is coming up Saturday, April 11th, 12 to 2, behind the fire station. Dr. Karen Ream Snyder carrying that out. $10 is the cost, and proceeds will be going to the Friends of the Raynham Public Library. Burning season is upon us, and fire department is issuing free burning permits through May 1st. Most people are waiting for the snow to melt, I suppose. And this is a new item, Household Hazardous Waste Day. The town's annual Household Hazardous Waste Day will be Saturday, June 13th from 8 a.m. to 12 noon at the Highway Department Garage, 1555 King Philip Street. Next Selectmen's meeting, we've got the draft annual town meeting warrant, Highway Superintendent Ed Buckley, and Two Jerks Barbecue Seasonal Wine and Beer License application. Sursage monthly meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. in Mansfield, and next Monday at 5 p.m. the Economic and Business Development Committee has their annual awards program.
Any questions, board?
No, sir.
Randy, just briefly,
Yep.
can we make sure that all of these events are on the town website? The
Okay.
rabies clinic, burning season reminder, household hazardous waste day?
Will do.
As well as the meetings, the town meetings, the special town meeting, et cetera. Okay, thank you, Randy. I have here a letter, or a packet, really, from Kraus and Hummel. And this is with regard to the proposed Main Street Estates in Raynham, in parentheses, the project. And basically, this is a further proposal to an earlier one, which is to put 8 lots on this particular parcel. This new proposal, and after we expressed our concern about putting 8 dwellings on this parcel, we expressed our concern which was based on how small these lots were, some 4,000 square feet, that there were some fire hazards. We now have a counter proposal that instead of 8, they want to put 12. How does the board feel about that? Is this a move in the right direction?
You're going to ask me?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think this is actually a retaliation because we decided and thought strongly that it was not acceptable to have 8 houses on that parcel of land. I'm sorry. I think it's wrong. I know the state can come in, and I know the state says 40B, and you have to do it, you're up to your 10%. And I know, Joe, you know more about that on the state level because that's where you were on your pro-home business, getting homes for people. Well, I believe in getting homes for people too, but I don't believe cramming them all into one little slot of a piece of land, putting all those homes in there, let alone what it does to the community. It's going to destroy that little section of North Main Street. You're going to put 12 units in there, 12 units. Conceivably, that could be 24 children going to school. I think it's wrong, and it's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned.
Mrs. Smith hit it on the head. Sometimes you just can't argue with what's right. But no, I think I would just add, Mrs. Smith, to your comments, and again, I wholeheartedly support all of them, but I think the one thing a lot of these 40B developers and the state to an extent fail to remember is part of the intention of 40B is for it to mesh in with the character of the town.
That's
And
right.
While, again, unfortunately, we are now under our 10%, for quite some time we were one of only a handful of communities that were at or above the 10%. And in addition to that, if you take the intent of the legislation for 40B, it's again to fit into the character of a community and a character of a neighborhood. So you look at Sunflower Estates off of Elm Street East, and you're not supposed to tell the difference between a 40B and a non-40B. And part of that was, I think the units fit in there nicely, and
It's a beautiful section.
and they're not overly
Beautiful.
congested.
No, they are not.
This is clearly not going to mesh with the character of North Main Street, and B, it's going to be overly congested. And Mr. Chairman, I know that's also been a concern of yours regarding fire safety.
Fire
And
safety.
Chief Janice has emphasized that point as well, and so my recommendation, and I think I speak for the board when I say it, is we again go on record to emphasize our strenuous opposition to this for a number of reasons, and we instruct Town Council and our Director of Planning and Development, John Charbonneau, to ensure that the town's comments and disapproval are more than just placed on record, but are any options we have to prevent this are exercised fully.
So in summary, the board is unanimous in rejecting this proposal for all of the reasons that have been stated: safety, in keeping with the look of the town, and all the other issues that have been mentioned. So we are very much against this. We were against the proposal when it called for 8 units.
That's right.
So we're at least 50% more against it, if that's possible, with 12 units.
You know
Okay.
what bothers me a lot about this, too? We did have our 10%, and we were a few communities that did. What about all these other communities that are not at 10%? Nowhere near 10%. What happens there? Does the state not go to them and say, you have not made your 10%?
Let's pick a new first.
Get out there. But we who have done it before, who have always tried to protect people's rights to have a home, they turn around and they allow something like this. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong, and I think that the communities ought to be able to have some sort of a say in what goes on in their community. Not just these types of people that walk in and say, well, I'm a 40B, so I can do that. Well, you can't do that. Not in the town of Raynham, because I don't want it.
Well, you know, I think that this, you know, not to, I mean, we obviously feel very strongly about this, so we're on this subject, but I see the safety issue not just as one for the town, but for the people who are living.
Traffic.
And for the individuals who occupy these residences, which are
Absolutely,
virtually
absolutely.
one driveway apart. That's the, you know, so if you had a fire or some other hazard in one unit, you're
Spread
just a
them all.
breath away from affecting the other units. So I think our concern for safety is not just for the town, but it's for those, the residents that are there. I think we're on record as being against that. The last piece of correspondence I have is from Beauregard, Burke, and Franco. You probably guessed that's a law firm. And this is to the Gaming Commission, and they're speaking on behalf of the city of New Bedford. And they're writing out, this letter comes to the, we've gotten a copy of it. And basically, I don't know if the board has any comment on their reach to the Gaming Commission on behalf of New Bedford. Do you?
My question, well, I guess, Mr. Chairman, my statements would be, and I would be remiss if I didn't say them because I would be a contradiction of my previous stance. I think the letter of the legislation, and I worked at the State House when this was passed, and I was on the grand staircase when the speaker announced that this was going to be passed, and it was a moment that I remember, and as the board knows, this has probably been outside of EEE the most important topic to me. I think in this instance, the Gaming Commission got something wrong by extending the deadline, actually. I think they should have moved forward. All applicants knew what the deadline was going to be, and they didn't meet it. And I think that every time a delay is afforded to an applicant, it's jobs that are being lost and jobs that are being delayed. And while the economy has improved to an extent, I can fill this room with people who I know need a job and are actively looking for jobs. And I disagree with the law firm. I recognize they're representing the city of New Bedford. One of my close friends is the city councilor in New Bedford. So when he sees this video, I'm going to get a call from him. But I think this region, if you talk about equity and fairness, needs a casino. The other two regions have been given licenses. This region has been allocated a license, and they're nowhere near awarding one, let alone building one and putting people to work. And I think that's the unfortunate thing. This is what happens all too much in government. Something's passed, something's adopted, and it lays dormant for years at the expense of the residents of Massachusetts. And I can't tell you how many friends I have who I graduated college with or high school with who've left this state because there aren't good quality, high-paying jobs. And I think that's the most unfortunate thing of all. Every day I lose a friend to a different state because we don't have a job to keep them here. And it's shame on all of us who sit back and allow that to happen.
So
Marie?
your comment is,
Well, I would say if we want to send a letter, that would be what the letter would say.
Okay.
But since I do have a friend in New Bedford, or at least I did.
I was going to add
I was going to say, I have no comment.
I was going to add a postscript to that letter, and that is that if indeed they're fortunate to get it, we want mitigation.
Yes.
That's it?
I have no problem with that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I have one tag day, and that's the town Taunton Raynham Pop Warner, football and cheerleading. They've done this for years. They're requesting August 10th and 13th to solicit funds. These dates are available. May I have a motion?
So approved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Correspondence, press time.
I just wanted to ask about the larvicide issue. You were talking just about catch basins, about applying the larvicide just to the catch basins?
Yeah. How the legislation worked was that years ago municipalities could do certain larvicidal treatments. The state took that away, and that was done purely at DPH's control, and that was something that this board and previous boards had argued against. We felt that it's better handled at the local level. Legislation was filed, passed, and the governor signed it, allowing municipalities who have officials who are properly licensed to do those treatments. And the problem was, as you know, Mark, when you're doing treatments, the trucks, quote unquote, couldn't leave the road, and they weren't getting into all the catch basins, and the focus was on the Hockomock Swamp. And this is allowing us better access and efficiency in terms of, hopefully, it's never going to eliminate, but reducing the risk to our residents for EEE in our neighborhoods where it's being contracted.
Supposed to be the mosquito control project applying to?
No, we can. We can, and what we asked Dave to do was coordinate it and make sure we have everything in place so that we can do it the moment the weather permits.
Town workers going out there and doing it themselves? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
so.
Okay. Any emergency business?
None.
None? Citizen input?
I'm just observing, I've never done it.
Okay.
I've seen you briefly on TV. I was paying a bill, I figured I'd slide in and check it out.
Well,
So
thanks
I-
for paying your bill.
Yep. I need,
I have a lot of people not.
Yeah.
I need another heading on my
Stop it.
agenda called observing.
I think you should talk to the post office, because I never got my excise tax bill.
Yeah, they've,
Really?
I think they gave up for a while.
well, my recommendation to you, because I have had quite a few calls on it, is to call Congressman Lynch's office. That's a federal program, so we have no authority
Well,
over
I
it.
didn't expect you to
Yeah,
do anything
but
about it.
Congressman
You
Lynch.
never know, though.
No, but Congressman Lynch is actually on the Post Office Subcommittee in Congress.
Yeah.
So he deals with their funding and operations, and his father was a postman, so he takes that stuff very seriously. And if you call, you can tell him I told you to call.
All right. One thing about efficiency,
Yes. Yeah, they deal with that too.
yeah, they need it.
Yeah.
Why does Raynham need two post offices? We only need one building that we're paying heat and electricity for. I don't get it.
Thought you were just observing.
Sorry, I have a comment, you know. I'm educated in management. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. No wonder they don't make money. You know, they hemorrhage cash. I wonder why.
Good. Thank you for
Very
the.
good, sir. Thank you for coming.
So, having covered that, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, sign the bills, no business thereafter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so done. Thank you.